In this lecture, let us discuss properties of continuous time Fourier series. As I mentioned earlier, Fourier series representations possess a number of important properties that are useful for developing conceptual insights into such representations, and they can also help to reduce the complexity of the evaluation of Fourier series of many signals. So, throughout the following discussion of properties of the continuous time Fourier series, we will find it convenient to use a shorthand notation to indicate the relationship between a periodic signal and its Fourier coefficients. Specifically, suppose let us take x of t, a signal. It is a periodic signal with the period let's say capital T naught, and the fundamental frequency is denoted by omega naught. This is period and this is fundamental frequency. Now omega naught is equal to 2 pi over capital T naught. Then if the Fourier series coefficients of x of t, Fourier series coefficients of x of t are denoted by, let's say, Ck. You can write Cn also, but let me use Ck. Okay, then we will use the notation x of t. If we take Fourier series, then its coefficient is Ck. By the way, when I say Fourier series, I am considering exponential Fourier series, complex exponential Fourier series. I am not considering trigonometric or trigonometric Fourier series. Here we are not considering trigonometric Fourier series. Okay. So this indicates the pairing of periodic signal with its some Fourier series coefficients. When I say Fourier series coefficients, implicitly what I am trying to say is that I am talking about exponential Fourier series. Now, the first property is linearity. So, let x of t and y of t, they are two signals with a period capital T. Both of them have the period t, and the Fourier series of x of t, Fourier series coefficients denoted by, let's say, Ck, and y of t, its Fourier series coefficients denoted by dk. Then since x of t have the period capital T naught and y of t have the period capital T naught, it easily follows that any linear combination of two signals will also be periodic with the period t. So x of t is periodic with period T naught, y of t is periodic with period T naught. Then you take any linear combination, a times x of t plus b times y of t. Then this guy also has a period with periodic with period T naught. So the Fourier series coefficients of this linear combination of x of t and y of t is given by, let's say, bk, and this bk is equal to a times the corresponding Fourier series coefficient of x of t. So that is Ck plus b times dk, d suffix k. So the proof of this directly follows from the application of our Fourier series equation. Okay. You consider this equation. What is your Ak? I am sorry. Ck is equal to 1 over T naught integral of integration over T naught x of t e to the minus jk omega naught times dt. So use this equation, simply you can prove that. Okay, so we can also note that the linearity property is easily extended to a linear combination of an arbitrary number of signals with the period t. So you can take one more signal also, like x of t plus y of t plus z of t, like this, and multiply x of t by a and y of t by b and z of t by c, and the corresponding Fourier series coefficient will be added in the right hand side. The next property is time scaling. When a time shift is applied to a periodic signal x of t, the period t of the signal is preserved. Like suppose you have the signal like this, I'm sorry, this is time shifting. Time shifting. So let's say this is my x of t. Now if you delay the signal by delay or advance by t naught seconds, then also like this. So then also the period is preserved. Like this. Now x2 of t is equal to x1 of t minus, let's say t naught by 2 or something else, some delay instead of t by 2, let me put some delay, in general some time delay. Then also the period will be period of the signal is preserved. Here also the period is t naught, and here also the period is t naught. So t naught will not change even if you shift the signal. Right. Now the Fourier series coefficients of the resulting signal x2 of t may be expressed as follows. So if x of t has the Fourier series coefficient Ck, I put Fs. Fs means Fourier series. Here when I say Fourier series, I am talking about exponential Fourier series. If x of t has the Fourier series coefficient of Ck, then its time shifted version x of t minus, let's say t naught, has the Fourier series coefficient of e to the minus jk omega naught, the time instant t naught times the previous Fourier coefficient Ck. The proof also straightforward. Let y of t is equal to x of t minus t naught, then let's say y of t, if you take Fourier series coefficients and denote this coefficient by bk. So what is bk formula? Bk is equal to 1 over t naught integral over t naught y of t times e to the minus jk n omega naught t, sorry, jk omega naught t and dt. Now what is y of t? Y of t is equal to t naught. Y of t is x of t minus t naught e to the minus jk omega naught dt. Right. Now let us substitute tau is equal to t minus t naught, then d tau is equal to dt. Right. Then what about t from this? T is equal to tau plus t naught. Okay. Again noting that the new variable tau will also be range over an interval of the duration t. So even after the substitution also 1 over t naught integration over t naught x of tau, then e to the minus jk omega naught, t is replaced by tau plus t naught and then d tau, and if you rearrange this, then this is going to be 1 over t naught integration over t naught x of tau e to the minus, actually there is a minus sign here, minus jk omega naught tau times e to the minus jk omega naught t naught d tau. This is constant, you can pull out of the integration. So e to the minus jk omega naught t naught divided by t naught integration over t naught x of tau e to the minus jk omega naught tau d tau. After all, this is a dummy variable, you can change also if you want. E to the minus jk omega naught t naught times 1 over t naught integration over t naught x of t e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. And what is this? This is the Fourier series coefficient. Okay, Fourier series coefficients of x of t. So that we denoted by ck. In the given expression we assumed ck. Therefore the left hand side you have where is it, bk. So therefore bk is equal to e to the minus jk omega naught t naught times this is ck, right? So hence it is proved. Then the next property I would like to talk about is time reversal. So what is this? This is a Fourier series. Before that, what is this bk? Bk is the Fourier series coefficients of x of t minus t naught bk, which is e to the minus jk omega naught t naught ck. Then what is ck here? Ck is x of t, if you take Fourier series, then its coefficient is ck. That's it. So one consequence of this property is that when a periodic signal is shifted in time, the magnitude of its Fourier series coefficients remain unchanged, because like bk is equal to e to the minus jk omega naught t naught times ck. If you take magnitude both side, then this will be equal to magnitude of ck, and this is bk. That means what? This is the Fourier series coefficients of x of t minus t naught, and this is the Fourier series coefficients of x of t. Now magnitude of Fourier series coefficients of x of t minus t naught is the same as the magnitude of Fourier series coefficients of x of t. That's what we are trying to say. And the next property that we like to address is time reversal. REVERSAL, reversal. Now the period t of the periodic signal x of t also remains unchanged when the signal undergoes time reversal. Time reversal means what? This is x of t. Time reversal of x of t is x of minus t, right? So let us work out this. Okay, now what this property says is, if x of t has a Fourier series, let's say ak, don't confuse with the trigonometric. Okay, this is complex Fourier series. Complex Fourier series, sorry, exponential Fourier series, I can say, in fact, exponential Fourier series coefficients. Okay, please don't consider or don't confuse with the trigonometric Fourier series. There we said ak, an, bk, bn like that, so don't confuse. Okay, now if x of t has a Fourier series coefficient ak, then x of t minus t naught has the Fourier series coefficients of a minus k. Okay, let us prove this. This is also very simple. So in other words, time reversal applied to a continuous time signal results in a time reversal of the corresponding sequence of Fourier series coefficients. If you take x of t, the Fourier series coefficient is ak. If you take the, I did a mistake again. X of minus t. If you take time reversal of the signal, then the coefficient also reversed here, minus k, you will get it. Okay, so let us prove this. The proof also very simple. We know that x of t is equal to summation over k is equal to minus infinity plus infinity ak e to the jk times 2 pi by capital T times t. Even you can use the formula like sigma n is equal to minus infinity plus infinity an times e to the jn of 2 pi by capital T naught, this is T naught, times T like this. After all, this n is a dummy variable. Either you can use n or m or k, doesn't matter. It's a dummy variable. Right. Now, what is the Fourier series of x of minus t? You replace t by minus t. So, sigma k is equal to minus infinity plus infinity ak e to the jk times 2 pi by t naught and minus t. Now, making the substitution k is equal to minus m. Let k is equal to minus m. Therefore, the summation becomes m is equal to infinity to minus infinity a minus m e to the j minus m 2 pi by capital T naught times minus t, and this minus will get cancelled, and then summation I can write like same, it is m is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, a plus b equal to b plus a, it's a commutative property. So, a minus m e to the j m 2 pi over capital T naught times t. Now, again as I said, m is a dummy variable, you can put anything. So, sigma again replace k minus infinity to plus infinity a minus k e to the jk 2 pi by t naught and t. And what is this? This is the x of minus t. Therefore, x of minus t has the Fourier series coefficient of a minus k. So, x of t has Fourier series coefficients a minus k. Okay. In other words, time reversal applied to a continuous time signal results in a time reversal of the corresponding sequence of Fourier series coefficients. X of minus t. So, if you apply x of t, you will get ak. Then if you apply x of minus t, then you will get a minus k, time reversal. So, this is a time reversal signal, and the corresponding Fourier series coefficients are also time reversed. That is why you put a minus k here. Okay. Now, an interesting consequence of time reversal property is that if x of t is even, that is x of t is equal to x of minus t, then its Fourier series coefficients are also even. That is ak is equal to a minus k. Similarly, if x of t is odd, this you can prove it. Okay, if x of t is odd, then ak is equal to minus of a minus k. Okay, then its Fourier series coefficient are also odd. Okay, and the next property that I would like to discuss is time scaling. Okay, so the time scaling is an operation that in general changes the period of the underlying signal. Let's say x of t with the period capital T naught, then x of alpha times t changes the period. Okay, so because you are scaling the signal in the time domain, so what happens, this T naught also changed. Okay, so that's what we mean by time scaling. So depending on the value of the alpha, if alpha is less than 1, then your signal will be stretched, compressed. If alpha is greater than 1, then your signal will be expanded, right? Let's say you have a signal like this, x of t minus 1 and plus 1, then what is x of 0.5 t? X of 0.5 t, let's say this is 2 minus 2 and plus 2, then this is equal to, let's say, y of t. Now y of 0 is equal to x of 0, which is 1, no problem, let's say the magnitude is 1. Then what is y of 1? Y of 1 is equal to x of 0.5, again 1. Y of 2 is equal to x of 1, again 1. Y of 3 is equal to x of 1.5, again 1. Y of 4 is equal to x of 2, again 1. Y of 5 is equal to x of 2.5, it is 0 from the above figure. So this indicates what? Your signal is from minus 4 to plus 4, like this. Signal is stretched from, if alpha is greater than 1, signal is stretched. If alpha is less than 1, it is compressed. Therefore, the shape itself changes, and T naught, the fundamental period, also changes. Now x of t, its period is T naught, periodic with the period t, and the fundamental frequency omega naught is equal to 2 pi by capital T naught. Then if you change the time scale, okay, if you scale the time by alpha, x of alpha t, where alpha is positive real number, okay, it is not complex because time is after all real number, okay, positive real number, then it is periodic with the period T naught by alpha, and the fundamental frequency here omega naught is equal to here the fundamental frequency is alpha times omega naught, not omega naught, it is alpha times omega naught. This is the fundamental frequency, and this is the period. Period is reduced and frequency is increased, vice versa. Okay, so the time scaling operation applies directly to each of the harmonic components of x of t. So we may easily conclude that Fourier coefficients for each of these components remain the same. That is, if x of t okay, so if x of t has a Fourier series coefficients of, let's say, ak, then x of alpha t also has the same coefficients ak. This you can easily prove also by using the definition, like ak is equal to 1 over t naught integral of t naught proof. One over t naught x of t e to the minus j k omega naught t and dt, right? Now the Fourier series coefficient of x of alpha t alpha t is equal to 1 over, the period is not t naught, it is t naught by alpha integral of t naught by over alpha x of alpha t times e to the minus j k. Here omega naught is replaced by alpha times omega naught t and dt. Now put alpha t is equal to, let's say, tau. Okay, so alpha times dt is equal to d tau. So dt is equal to d tau by alpha, right? So 1 over t naught by alpha integral of t naught by alpha over the period, then this x of at becomes x of tau e to the minus jk alpha omega naught. So then jk then what happens, this guy alpha omega naught, and t should replace. What is t? T is equal to tau by alpha into dt is equal to d tau by alpha, right? So therefore this alpha and this alpha will get cancelled. Then this is this d tau by alpha, right? You can pull outside. One by alpha times this alpha over t naught, this guy, integral of t naught over alpha x of tau e to the minus jk omega naught tau d tau, and this alpha and that alpha will get cancelled. So 1 over t naught integral of what about this period? This period also changes. Okay, you can substitute that, because let's say instead of writing like this, let me write down the period like a 0 to t naught by alpha, right? When t is equal to 0, then tau is also 0 for lower limit. What about the upper limit? Upper limit is when t is equal to t naught by alpha, then what is your t? T is equal to tau by alpha is equal to t naught by alpha. Therefore this alpha, that alpha will get cancelled. So tau becomes t naught. So the upper limit is t naught and the lower limit is 0. So here also the lower limit is 0 and the upper limit is t naught. So 0 to t naught x of tau e to the minus jk omega naught tau, then d tau. After all, tau is a dummy variable. You can bring back to a time parameter t, independent time parameter. So 1 over t 0 to t naught x of t e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. And what is this? This is precisely what we started with, ak. Okay, therefore Fourier series coefficients of x of alpha t is what? ak. What is this ak? Again, this is the Fourier series coefficients of x of t. Therefore the Fourier series coefficient does not change. Okay, see, the Fourier series coefficients of x of t and x of alpha t are same, but specifying between frequency component changes from omega naught to alpha omega naught. See, x of t has omega naught and x of alpha t has a frequency component at alpha omega naught. Okay, but the coefficient does not change, but the spacing between the two coefficients will be changed. Okay, so that's what we remember. Initially it has like omega naught, 2 omega naught, 3 omega naught, minus 2 omega naught, minus 3 omega naught, like that. This is for x of t. If you represent the coefficients, see ak. Now for scaled one, instead of omega naught, no, omega naught, and this is 2 times alpha times omega naught, 3 times alpha times omega naught, and so on. And this side also minus I'm sorry, center point is 0, right? I'm sorry, this is 0 omega naught. Let's say this is amplitude, and let's say like this, and this side also off, and let's say like this. This is 2 omega naught, and this is minus omega naught, minus 2 omega naught, like this. And if you scale it by alpha, then also you have the same coefficients. Then this is 0. Now if alpha is bigger than 1, then it will be somewhere else. Okay, alpha times omega naught, 2 times alpha omega naught. This side 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This side minus alpha omega naught, maybe somewhere else minus 2 alpha omega naught. Now let's say this point is the same height, whatever the height here, same height will be maintained, but it is located at minus alpha omega naught, that's all. Like this, these two heights are same. Whatever the height you have here, the same height here also. But now instead of at minus omega naught, now it is at minus alpha times omega naught, right? And here let's say the height is this much, and whatever the height here you are having, the same height is mentioned here. And here this guy occurs at minus 2 omega naught, now it occurs at minus 2 alpha omega naught. So similarly for positive frequencies, it is like this, and then it is like this. Again this height is same as this height, but this guy is located at omega naught, but this is located at alpha times omega naught. And this height is this much, and here also the same height. Now it is at 2 omega naught, it is at 2 alpha omega naught. The coefficient amplitude does not change. Amplitude does not change, but only locations are changed. That's what we mean by time scaling. Okay, so time reversal over, time scaling over, and then multiplication. And many of the properties are parallel with the properties of continuous time Fourier transform. Multiplication, or sometimes people call modulation theorem. Okay. Suppose that x of t is periodic with the period t, and y of t also periodic with the period capital T sub 0. Okay, that is x of t. Okay, the Fourier series coefficients of x of t is ak, and y of t bk. By the way, these are not trigonometric Fourier series, exponential Fourier series. Fourier series coefficients. Now if you multiply the two signals in the time domain, x of t times y of t, right, then the corresponding Fourier series coefficients will be convolved. Okay, so the product of x of t, y of t is also periodic with the period t. We can expand it in the Fourier series with the Fourier series coefficients, let's say hk. Individually the Fourier series is ak and bk, but if you multiply these two guys, the Fourier series let us denote by hk, where hk is defined by summation over L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity AL B times K minus L. Therefore, here it is going to be sigma L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity. So therefore x of t times y of t has complex exponential Fourier series coefficients, which is L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity AL bk minus L. Then again this is easy to prove again. Okay, like we know that AK is the Fourier series coefficients of x of t. You write down the formula for AK. So AK is equal to 1 over t naught integral of t naught x of t e to the minus j omega t times dt, right? Now what is hk? Hk is equal to 1 over t naught integral of x of t times y of t, product of these two guys, e to the minus jk omega naught dt. Now what is the x of t equation in terms of Fourier series coefficients, which is summation of k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak e to the jk omega naught t, right? You substitute here in this one, you substitute here. Now so this is 1 over t naught integration over t naught, then instead of x of t I am writing as k is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity ak e to the jk omega naught, then t, then y of t e to the minus jk omega naught t and dt. Now if you look at this expression, here also I have t and here also I have t. So these two guys will get confusion, and here also I have k and here also I have k, right? Especially t, no problem, okay, you can keep the same t because you are replacing in terms of x of t, so no need to change the t value here. Okay, because after all x of t is written in terms of this expression, so no problem as far as t is concerned, x of t. But here I have k, and this k must be different from this k. So what do? I will use some other symbol for that. So 1 over t naught. Okay, so therefore the index of summation is changed to differentiate between the two indices of k and L. So t naught, then change the indices. Instead of k, let me put L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity AL e to the JL omega naught t y of t e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. Now interchange the order of integration and summation. So you bring out the summation, L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity, and AL is constant with respect to integration. You can bring it outside, AL times 1 over t naught integration of y of t, and combine this exponential with this exponential. If we combine, e to the minus j k minus L omega naught t and dt. Now you consider these two quantities. What are they? The quantity inside this, this indicates Fourier coefficients bk minus L. Look at the terms here, k minus L. Therefore this is the definition of b suffix k minus L. Okay, instead of k I have k minus L. Okay, if I had only k, then I would have called it bk, but instead of k, the k is subtracted by an amount L, therefore I wrote bk minus L. Therefore sigma L is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity AL bk minus L. Recall the definition. What is bk? Bk is the Fourier series coefficient of y of t. By definition, bk is equal to 1 over t naught integral of what? Y of t e to the minus jk omega naught t omega naught dt. Now look at here. Here I have k. That is why I put suffix k here. So instead of k, if we have something called k minus m, then let's say 1 by t naught integration over t naught y of t e to the minus j k minus m times omega naught t and dt. Then instead of k I have k minus m naught, therefore the whole thing I can write as b suffix k minus m. So the Fourier series of x of t times y of t is like this. Okay, observe that the sum on the right hand side, this one may be interpreted as the discrete time convolution of the sequences. So ak convolved with a bk. Okay, a discrete time convolution of the sequence representing Fourier coefficients of x of t and the sequence representing the Fourier series coefficients of y of t. So this is your multiplication property. Okay, and then the next property that I would like to discuss is periodic convolution. So convolution in the time domain. If x of t has Fourier series coefficients ak and y of t has Fourier series coefficients bk, then let's say z of t is equal to x of t is convolved with the y of t. Then this guys together has a Fourier series coefficients, let me call ck, and that is equal to t times ak and bk multiplication. So periodic convolution in time domain becomes multiplication in the frequency domain, multiplication of Fourier series coefficients. Again the proof is straightforward. Okay, you can do it on your own, or let me give the outline of this proof. Let's say ak, what is ak? Ak is 1 over t naught integration over t naught x of t e to the minus j k omega naught t dt. Similarly, you can write bk is equal to integration 1 over t naught integration over t naught y of t e to the minus jk omega naught t. Why did I put n here? No n. dt by definition. By definition. Okay. Now what is ck? Ck is 1 over, again if you take convolution, the period is again t naught. Integration of z of t times e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. So this is equal to 1 over t integral of integration over t x of t convolved with the y of t, then e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. Now what is this? This is a convolution. We know the convolution integral formula, integral of over t x of tau y of t minus tau d tau. You can substitute that in that. So 1 over t integration over t, then again over a period t naught, simply I'm putting t naught, okay, t instead of t naught. You can put suffix 0 here. So x of tau y of t minus tau d tau e to the minus jk omega naught t dt. Okay, so interchange the order of integration now. So I have two integrations over the period of t naught. So 1 over t naught integration of x of tau over t naught integration of t naught y of t minus tau e to the minus jk omega naught t d tau dt. Now you substitute t minus tau is equal to some other dummy variable, let's say m here. Okay, then find the lower limit, upper limit, and substitute the values. Then it is going to be 1 over t naught integration of you do the simplification. Let me write down the final answer. It's very easy to show, some 2-3 steps only. So this becomes as it is x of tau, then integration of t naught, this y of t minus tau becomes y of m e to the minus jk omega naught, t becomes m plus tau, and then dt is equal to dm. So I can substitute there. Okay, so treating tau as a constant in the second integration. Then finally you will end with 1 over t naught. Final result let me write down here, t times ak and bk. Okay, so convolution of two periodic signals in the time domain result in multiplication of Fourier series coefficients and its period t naught. Okay, so let me stop at this point. In the next lecture we will discuss some other properties like conjugation and conjugate symmetry, Parseval's relation for continuous time periodic signals, and then integration differentiation properties for Fourier series coefficients. Thank you very much.